You're exposed.
I'm by no means the best at Rainbow Six Siege. Actually, I think I pretty much suck at the game. It's a game with a lot of strategies and memorization, which I feel like I'm not qualified for. We do play from time to time with the boys at the office, and I will say I very much enjoyed playing it with this laptop. This here is the MSI Crosshair 15 Rainbow Six Extraction Edition, and it looks absolutely stunning. When I first unboxed this, it was actually quite different from all of the other MSI products I've unboxed. This here came in a special bundle box which includes a trackpad, the Extraction Team mouse, and the deluxe version of the game. If you'd like to win a copy, all you need to do is to follow MSI and I over on Instagram and leave a comment down below as to why you think you'd like to have a copy. Of course, like always, MSI included their charging kit, which always comes in two, the brick itself and the cable. I do wish these were a bit more minimal for when people want to carry this laptop around. Maybe a gang charger like Razer seems to be doing. I'm personally starting to get a bit bored seeing the same charges across all of their laptops. Plus, these do get really hot when pushing these laptops to their limits. But hey, other than that, I think it's super fun being able to get a proper bundle for such a gaming laptop. What's interesting about the Extraction Edition is, of course, its design. This at heart is a Crosshair 15 in matte black graphite, but this time around they very much made it look different. The lid has a nice crest in the middle which lights up. The yellow on top of the heatsink matches the crest, and it becomes a nice gradient towards the top of the inner body, spreading all the way to the keyboard. Even though the backlighting of the keys themselves aren't customizable, the green, blue, and yellow lights really make the WASD keys pop even more. I really like the translucent yellow design on them, and I want to say they feel different from the other keys, but it might just be all in my head. The trackpad is very well designed. I very much admire MSI keeping the whole extraction theme going on here. It really isn't a favorite for me, but it does the job. However, I will say my only complaint with this model is that I've been having a bit of a hard time clicking it. It's very stiff in my opinion. Not that it really matters, to be honest, because for gaming, I much rather connect a mouse to its IOs. So on the right of the chassis, we have a 3.5mm input jack, a USB-A port for your mouse, no Thunderbolt, just USB-C 3.2, an HDMI port, and thankfully an Ethernet port. Very important, especially if you are playing competitive games such as Rainbow Six. Towards the left of the chassis, they just kept it very simple, with enough ports for a headset if needed, and maybe a separate mic if you'd rather have such setup. In terms of thermals, the heat sinks are very prominent throughout most of the chassis, and it mainly has to do with the fact that MSI designed what they called the Cooler Boost 5 with dual fans and 6 heat pipes. Basically, this specifically cools down their Crosshair 15 models and allows for it to run cooler and maximizes airflow. I will point out that they were smart enough to remove the heatsink on the right side of the chassis. For those who are right-handed, you know that laptops that tend to run hot while gaming can be annoying, as it shoots air straight into your hand while playing with a mouse. I think this is very much appreciated by a lot of us, although to be honest, the heat now dissipates a bit through the keyboard, and so when the fans kick in, you truly feel it. You truly do feel it. Like, if towards the middle of the keyboard, heat is coming out, I can feel it on my hand, and that's because, I'm pretty sure it's because we got rid of the heat sink right here. Other than that, honestly, game's so smooth. You can hear the fans a bit, but with time they will kick in like full force. If you were gaming for a while on Rainbow Six, oh god, they were kicking in. And this is pretty much how it sounded like. Gaming in class might not be the smartest of things. So this is how I've been rocking this laptop for my performance tests. I very much think it's the perfect setup for it, with an i7 12700H, an RTX 3070, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. This very much focuses on gaming, and I don't feel like connecting this to a monitor because the fact that I get a 1440p screen outputting 165 Hz makes my first person shooter experience so much better. In general, I will say the IPS display quality is pretty good. It has good colors, it it emits a sharp image, and the blacks are perfect for gaming. Games such as Cyberpunk very much made me realize that. It also made me realize that the brightness of the screen is way too low in my opinion. It makes it a bit hard to game when playing in broad daylight. However, the matte display helps a lot, and I think they did a fantastic job with this one. After playing a few rounds of Halo, my eyes really got used to this whole screen setup, and of course, none of this would be possible without what MSI currently packed in this particular model. I am happy to see that more and more laptops are currently packing 12th gen chipsets, but the only thing I don't understand is why aren't we packing up DDR5 memory in them? These Intel chips are actually so fast for a lot of the things we do around the studio, especially gaming, and if you properly pair it with an RTX 3070 as we have it in here, you obtain such a beast of a gaming computer. I mean, 8GB of VRAM and 140 watts with dynamic boost is the perfect recipe for AAA gaming, and this clearly shows within TimeSpy, Geekbench, Cinebench, and even Crystal Disk. But with so much power comes great responsibility because the battery life on this isn't the best at all. On Sunday at 10:30 AM, this thing was all juiced up at 97%. 2 hours later, the battery life was at around 34%, and keep in mind that I was just consuming content, writing the script, and installing some AAA games for this review, and this very much made me realize that no matter what, I needed to make sure that when playing games, this had to be plugged in. The 90 Wh battery on this is like almost not good enough to keep up with these crazy specs, especially if you want to take advantage of the GPU. With Rainbow Six Siege at 2K resolution and ultra graphics, we got average frames per second of 55 and max FPS of 63. If you wish to have better frames per second and take advantage of what this screen can output, 180p with ultra high graphics can deliver an average of 100 frames per second. Although on lighter games like Valorant, you'll see very similar frame rates in 2K. I will say though, games such as Cyberpunk deliver average frames per second of around 35, mainly if you play at 2K with ultra high settings, which is way more than enough and makes me truly enjoy the game wherever I go. Although make sure to wear headphones because honestly, these are not good speakers. When it comes to other things that don't matter for gaming, such as the webcam, it's not that bad, and even at that, it really doesn't concern me at all. It doesn't stop me from recommending you guys this particular laptop, especially when I know that the travel on these keys are so good. 1.7mm in terms of travel for a gaming laptop is perfect. I love the fact that it never caused any issues with my reflexes on Valorant, and the keys are chunky enough to deliver a good competitive gaming experience. Look, to round it all up, I think it's such a good bundle for gamers. In fact, it's the main reason as to why I wanted to have this on the channel. The gaming pad is decent for gaming, and the mouse is definitely a nice addition to get you started. It of course isn't a laptop that's just for gaming. I finally like the fact that if needed, you can upgrade the RAM sticks on this particular model. So for school, it'll definitely work no matter what you're studying. It's an easy recommendation for those who wish to do CAD design, game development, and so on. Just know that this thing does get quite hot. Other than that, it honestly is such a great laptop for gamers and for the average consumer. Hope you all enjoyed the review. I really like reviewing these 12th gen laptops. Stay tuned for some MacBook content. I will see you all soon. Take care.